Welcome to Town Manager's Corner. My name is Scott Lambiasi and I'm your town manager. As all of you are aware, this is a segment that we like to do. I work with Kevin Tachi and Abington Cable to put this out. We go around, we talk to department heads, or we might talk about a town meeting that's coming up and trying to get information out to everybody. But oddly enough, this time we're going to tell you, I guess, how we make the sausage. This is all about our communications plan. So I have a special guest with me, Samantha Linnehan with In-House Alternatives. Welcome, Samantha. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So Samantha has come aboard to put together a communication strategy with us for the town. We've been working together for at least 3-4 years now, right?
Yeah, since 2021. I originally came on board and we launched In-House Alternatives in 2020. So you guys were one of our
nice.
first clients.
And you are a resident of the town as well?
I am a lifelong resident and happy to be raising my family here as well. And
so you're a townie.
I am.
I don't know if you're old enough yet to be a townie, but you're going to be a townie.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I will proudly wear that badge.
When I came on board and brought you on board through a RFP process, we discussed that one of the things that we heard, or that I heard coming here, was we weren't doing a good enough job. The town wasn't doing a good enough job getting information out to people, and I reached out to you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about In-House Alternatives.
Sure. So I have worked in communications and advocacy for nonprofits my entire career. And in 2020, my business partner and I found that there was really this need for nonprofits and municipalities to have communication strategy, advocacy strategies, but not have to pay downtown firm prices, because that's usually what the stopping point was from taking that leap. And we thought, we can do this and serve especially towns, because COVID hit and no longer could a town say, oh, we'll just go, people can be at meetings, they can come to town hall. We needed to really bridge that gap in helping educate residents on what was happening in their town. And so now we have worked with upwards of 5 towns, along with many nonprofits, helping that happen. And we like to differentiate ourselves and not say we're a PR firm, because we're not here to just promote. We want to educate residents. What is your town doing for you? And we want to let them know that, the town's listening, and we're here. We know what you're saying, and we have a plan. It might be down the road, but we want to let you know that we're working on it.
Yeah, and I've been with several different municipalities throughout the years, over the past 20-something years, and within the towns, in the towns that I've been in, many times this task is just left up at sort of ad hoc. There's no one in town. We don't typically have someone specifically there for it, especially in the smaller communities. I think the larger communities obviously do when you get into cities and larger than that. And more often than not, it's like several people are just doing what they can to keep up a website. And that wasn't working. That certainly wasn't working on our part to get information out to everybody. So why don't we talk a little bit about the strategy that you put together that's unfolded?
Sure. So originally when we came on board, Abington had a very different website, and you were also received a grant from the state to have a digital communications plan. And that's really where our relationship started. And we were able to develop a digital communications plan, and we surveyed the town and we said, what do you think of the website? What do you need? What bugs you? What works? And we got some good feedback about it. We were able to do a little revamp that first year. And then last March, we launched a whole new website with a new platform that also came with an app that we are trying to get more people to download and use. And part of the strategy was, how do you keep, especially in a small town, how do you keep the website up to date with departments that have a lot on their plates already, to make sure that residents are getting up-to-date information, and how do you spotlight all this great work that they're doing? So we have a calendar that includes spotlights where we talk to department heads and we spotlight what their departments are doing, what their staff's doing, major upcoming projects for the year, and it also gives us a point to touch base and say, you know, how's your webpage looking? Is there anything that's completely out of date? Let's take it down.
Because that was one thing that we found with that old website. There were a lot of pages that just had old information, outdated links, and we found that across the board, and it was just a lot. And the site was, the I guess you would call it, the platform was pretty clunky and difficult for someone like me to spend the time on to try and actually change things.
Yes, absolutely, and that was part of the problem, was the website platform was a bit clunky, and your average user couldn't go in the back end without training and update something. And so with this new platform, we're actually able to give staff different levels of usability to post directly on it. It's easy. It's like something it looks and feels like the websites you're used to. You know, it feels like logging on to Facebook or logging on to Amazon. It has that same usability to it. And also we've even had some great board and committee chairs that are like, oh, this is great. I can actually upload my own minutes and agendas, and they're able to do that and kind of take a step away and give staff a breather and able to do that. And since it's easier to update, it is updated more often and regularly, and we are able to have residents find what they need. We'll always take any feedback is welcome, and you know, they can put it in through the town manager's form, and we're also able to pull more data from it. So we can post surveys and forms, and department heads, the Veterans Department has been great about using different forms and surveys to gather information and then actually be able to easily download it and then reach out to people that have feedback.
Yeah, and you know, that's kind of sort of one of the great things about this is we continue to build on it. We continue to update it, upgrade it. You actually have schedules where department heads have to review their information to make sure it is up to date. And certainly there's stuff that's migrated over that still we find it now and then. And
yes.
When somebody brings it to our attention, whether it's myself or a resident, a department head, we have it fixed instantly. And you know, we constantly strive to make it better.
Yes, we're always striving to make it better, and a great feature that I think we were able to add with this site and was unavailable in the last site is when you go to a department or board or committee's page, and it's one that's regular taped on, you know, right on the station with AbCam, we're able to embed their YouTube playlist. So the latest meeting will pop up. So, you know, if you're looking, what was the decision on the Board of Health, I saw the agenda, I wasn't able to, that meeting's going to pop up, make it easy to find for you. Yes, and we know that people learn in different ways, so we want people that want to see the video and, you know, fast forward to the item that they want to review, they can do that. They can also easily find agendas and minutes if they prefer to read it. So we really try to appeal to all different residents and how they learn and how they want to access information. Which brings me to another part of the strategy is we really wanted, it's imperative to have one-way and two-way communication, so the website's one-way. People come to the website, they're able to access information. Also part of that one-way communication is a quarterly newsletter that goes out, which serves as a recap of, you know, since the last newsletter, the last, you know, about 3 months. And we launched the newsletter in 2021. We've seen 20% growth in subscribers. We regularly have over a 75% open rate, which is fantastic. You know, other towns that I work with can be lower, and a lot of your nonprofits hover around 20%. To have 78% is great. We would love to have more people subscribe to it.
And we're going to we're going to go over that in a couple minutes. We're going to actually show everybody how they can get on, what's on our webpage, and how they can sign up for that.
Yes.
And we've put some amazing stuff in there. And it's usually, like you said, it's quarterly, so there's always something coming up. It may be that we have the town meeting coming up, or we may have a building project coming up, or we want to, or actually it's typically a lot of things in there where, it could be a town meeting, a special town meeting, a building project, something that's going on in a department. We love to put stuff in there about grants.
Yes.
Because we get grants all the time. We're working very hard. All of our departments work hard. And so we actually have a page with different projects, and just to let everybody know that we're doing a lot of projects, a lot of things with money from the state or from the federal government, which
Yeah, and that is really important, and we love to highlight that because we want residents to know that their tax money is being used and supplemented with grants, and that the staff is out there trying to find every dollar they can. And we kind of heard from people that, well, what's next project? And there will be, there will be chatter about, if it's a certain intersection or road that has been an issue. And we thought that the town projects page on the website would be a great opportunity to show people, we hear you. It can't happen overnight. Sometimes it will be a federally funded project or a state funded project, and it's slated, it may be a year away or what it is, but we want you to know that we know it's an issue too, and we hear you, and it's upcoming, and we're gonna tackle it. And so we show on that page what the project is, how it's being funded, and an update with what it is. And sometimes it's an update of where we're applying for funding, or the funding has come in, it's not released, and that is a major effort in collaboration between the town planner, often the DPW department, and other boards and committees to ensure that it's updated and it's projects that people are looking for answers on.
And really, in as much as there is in the webpage and in the newsletter, those are really just a couple of parts. We also, again, like you said, we have the app, which helps you from your phone get to all these, whether it's the community calendar or to a department page. But we also have a presence where we try to get out information as quickly as possible to everybody on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, so that is the next part of the communication strategy, which is a two-way communications. And a lot of towns, they were at first a little hesitant to go out onto social media, and because you're going to get feedback, it's a two-way, but that's how you build trust with residents. And we want to hear your ideas, we want to hear your thoughts. And I have to say, with Abington, so we have a Facebook and Instagram page, and we regularly post to some of the major town groups, and overall we have it incites pretty respectful discussion on issues. It's also a way for, since I do live in town, to get a pulse on things that people are talking about, like what are people's questions, and we're able to then create social posts about those. And it has been a great tool. And we would love for people, like the town of Abington on Facebook and on Instagram. We're still, we found that Facebook has been the best way to reach people because they can click directly on a link, where Instagram, that's a little bit more labor intensive, but we're still growing our following there. And there's a lot of different departments that have their own pages, like the Abington Fire Department, the Health Department. And so we'll do a roundup every once in a while, tagging those different profiles, because you're gonna get information, more detailed information, about trash pickup or when are flu shots offered if you go to the Department of Health. For people that are not on social media, a big reason we went with the website platform that we did is because they have this really useful app that shows a live feed on it. And the live feed reflects what we're showing on social media as well. So if people aren't on.
There's our live feed.
There's the live feed. And so it will have, if you hit read more on a specific post, it looks now, it looks like an Instagram feed. And again, we want to give that feel of what people are comfortable with, and they they know what it looks like. So, which was one of the reasons we went with this app. And so you're able to read and get that same information.
And the links are all active.
The links are all active. You can go take this water survey right now. It'll take about 10 minutes. And it also allows us to have up-to-date information directly on the website that, some information is evergreen and you want it up there, but other things are rotating. After this weekend, we don't need to see the post about Abington celebrates Christmas, but it's important that it's up right now because that's coming up this weekend. And then it also, so on the app, which is different from other town apps, that you're able to, when you download it and you look at the calendar, you're able to download and any meetings or committee meetings or anything we put on the calendar directly to your phone calendar, and you get a reminder about it. So you don't have to go through a second step of manually doing it, which was something that we were really excited about, because attending meetings and participating, because there are often hybrid or remote options that people can attend and do right from their own homes.
And I guess now's probably a good time to scroll through some of the things on the page. We have ways for people to sign up for these things.
Yes. So if you right on the top here, we developed which buttons we should have based on the survey we had back in when I first started, and people said, I need to easily have my online payment. So that is always up there.
The online payment button was huge.
Yes. And also a contact us, because sometimes people don't know which department to contact. So we want to be able to allow people to send something in, and we can easily respond and put them in the right direction. And then kind of these three in the middle tend to change. And to see our latest newsletter, if you click the newsletter button, it's going to bring up our latest one, which was about the past, the special town meeting. And then if people up here, they can hit past issues and see all of the ones that we've had. Is just taking a second to load. And so they can find any of those on here. Going back.
And these newsletters, I think as we scroll through the newsletters, what you'll see is they are, they're not the old school paper newsletter that we did a PDF of. This is actually
This is an interactive newsletter. When you hit these links, it's going to take you to either pages that are on the town website, or, for example, this one would link to the South Shore Road Tech project that is a discussion. So yes, it is an active newsletter, which we know is really important for people to be able to find the information they need, and also not overload them with information that may not interest them. So you're able to, we want you to be able to find more information when you want to, but if that's not what you're looking for, you can, skim the headline and read a couple lines and find out.
And while this will always be here on our webpage, we do have a way that if you subscribe, you will get it in your inbox.
Exactly. So if you go down to our footer on the website, you can subscribe. It is very easy. Anyone can do it. Email address, first and last name. We're not going to share their information with anybody. It stays with the town, and maybe a half a dozen emails a year are sent out, so it's not going to overload your inbox. And then you can also, right in the footer, subscribe to our Code Red communications, which are for more immediate and severe needs, things that are happening if there's road closures, if there's severe weather, if there is going to be a power outage. We'll also do some if there's an election, timely things that people need to know.
And that one's important. For severe weather occurrences, if we have a snow emergency, for instance, and we want to, let you know that we're going to set up a warming station, or again, maybe there's something that caused a road closure, and this will allow us, you have the option to receive texts, you have an option for us to send a call. and I believe email also through
Yes.
that code red. So we don't always use all of the above. I will admit that maybe when we first got this, we might have used it a little bit more. It was a new toy.
Yeah.
But we do understand that we have to be, judicious on how we use it. We have to think about it and not overuse it. We want to be careful that we're just using it.
Absolutely,
appropriately, I
and
guess.
that's part of communication strategy is pivoting when you get feedback, and also ranking how important is this that this person gets this information and when they get it. So kind of the most immediate need would be code red. The next one is a direct email through MailChimp or through social media. And then for something that is not an immediate need and people can find at their leisure would be the website, more passive information. We've also tried with the website to link as much as we can to our social media pages and spotlighting different parts of town government that people are interested in, and again, it's not an immediate need. So when we spotlight our different departments, this is where it will live, down here on the bottom. We've most recently the fire department, and we have, in these spotlights, we like to give an overview, frequently asked questions, because this also helps department heads communicate information that their staff is often getting, and trying, all of the departments heads are so great about answering questions, but if we can help people find information, it really allows them to focus on the services that they offer. And then when we get these spotlights, it helps develop social media content for the whole year, because it is really it's time consuming. And like you said, bigger towns and cities, like if you're looking at the city of Boston, they have a whole department dedicated to this. But even a town like Newton, they have a full-time staff member and sometimes a part-time staff member that do this. So with our strategy that we've developed, having these spotlights allow us to create information for the whole year. So for example, we already have information scheduled for burn permits in January 5th when it opens up for the fire station. So we really want people to easily access the information they need, and our department heads to be able to push out the information that they know residents need.
And we do have, almost most committees have their own pages.
Yes.
Some committees or groups, we encourage them to reach out to you all the time, and I think sometimes they do.
Yes,
if they want
do.
a page, or if they want to add something to a page. Typically, again, like we said, there's a button that will show up just near town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
Right now it's a special election button. That's sort of the next thing that's coming here. Depending on when you watch this, it may be before or after we have a special ballot for the South Shore VOTEC building project. That button will turn into the annual town meeting button.
Yes, so it changes depending on what kind of the next major campaign is for the town or vote. And we want it to be easily accessible because we want people to be educated about what they're being asked for, and also getting people to town meeting and getting people interested in joining a board or committee. We want that information accessible, and we really want people to be able to educate themselves, to at least when they're heading into the ballot box, or some people want to dig deep, and we want to be able to provide that information, which is why we have links. If this is a great example for the VOTEC project, we've linked a lot of different pieces here if you want to dig in deep, but then we try to use headers and bullets where appropriate, so people can get quick hits of information.
And so I guess overall, what we're putting this in as much information as we can out there. We're putting it on the webpage, we're putting it on social media, and we're offering a newsletter.
Yes.
And then an emergency communication system. So all of that is out there. It's available. Obviously, the easiest one for folks is the webpage. It's, abingtonma.gov.
Yes.
The rest of the stuff you do have to sign up for. certainly make your own decisions on whether you want to be a part of social media or not. We do find that we do get a lot of information out there. We get a lot of feedback. We don't usually respond to some of the feedback, but we do try to take a look at that feedback and make sure that whatever the confusion or problem is, we address it.
Yes, and that's, I have to say, it's really great. I think of them as ambassadors, people that are in touch with the town. They may be on a board or committee or a selectman when they share information and resources that we've developed from the website. And it was really great once someone asked about the Hancock Street and Chestnut Street intersection, and someone that they were on some board or committee said, oh, there's a town projects section on the website, and they have everything about this and when the construction's going to start and where it is, and they shared that, and there were so many likes and thank yous. And so really, if you see something that has informed you on our website, please, I encourage people to share it in any way that they can and get it out there, because it really does take a village to keep everyone informed, and we will continue to create content and push it out. But with a small town like this, people can point their fellow residents in the right direction, and we will continue to do that. When we see someone have, a couple of people have the same question, we're like, oh, we need to answer this. So we'll put it, we might put it on the front of the website, under the live feed, and also push it out on social or cover it in the next newsletter. And I would encourage people to download the app. If you go into your App Store or Google Play, it's on both, and search the town of Abington. Abington, Mass, so it's not confused with Pennsylvania, which happens.
Yes, you don't want the wrong app.
Yes, and a little green wave will come up and get downloaded to your screen. This is a great way to check what meetings are happening. It's a good way to stay in touch with that live feed if you don't have social media, and it is much more interactive than a lot of other town apps, which I was really happy when we went with this platform.
Yeah, I think it was it's Aptigee that is the platform we switched over a couple of years ago, year and a half.
It was a year ago. It's been less than a year. It was March 2023 where we redeveloped and changed the website. And we also, which doesn't always happen with a redesign, rewrote almost all of the content. So met with each department head, what's important, and developed it in a way that people could quickly get the information that they need on a high level, but also can dig down. And we've made it more and continue to make it more searchable and use some SEO features, which kind of getting into the details in the back end. But if you Google Abington Senior Center, we want the Senior Center to be the first thing that comes up on Google, and working on the back end to make sure that happens. We have been doing, which is new, which wasn't being done before.
And I think one other important feature that I think it's enhanced more than something that we didn't offer. I think we did try offering it before, but you can switch this to a different language.
Yes, which is so great and very important. Right up here on the right-hand side, under Translate, it defaults to English. You can quickly hit Portuguese, but you can search any language, and Google. It's powered by Google Translate, and people can, whatever language is best for them, they can search it and then change it. And because again, it comes down to accessibility. We're also have a big push to, and it's a work in progress, but make it more ADA and more accessible. People that may be low vision are using screen readers, trying to not put up as many scan documents and PDFs that are, and we've been trying to upload PDFs that people can read and read with the screen reader, and also put in language with any photos, and make sure everyone can access and use the website.
Which is very important to us, and we'll continue to strive towards that.
Yes.
We will continue to make improvements on this site, and we really do appreciate any feedback that we have as on anything, but specifically right now on our communication plans. If there's, more information that you need about a particular subject, or even if we can enhance the way that we're getting it out to you, we'll be happy to do so. We'll love to talk about it. And anything else you'd like to say in wrapping up?
I would just say that I encourage people to download the app, sign up for our newsletter, definitely enroll in Code Red, because that is very important in times of emergency and also emergent issues. And lastly, I'm excited in 2025, we are looking to talk more and launch a campaign about how to get people more involved in boards and committees by profiling. I think everyone has something to add, and no matter what your background or strengths are, it can really add to our town, because it takes. We're trying to get the communication out there, and it really takes. Our form of government takes volunteers to make it run. So we want people to know how to contribute and how to participate in our town meeting form of government.
Yeah, we do encourage everyone that we have a volunteer page for openings on boards and committees. And as Samantha mentioned, we are going to do a whole campaign on that, and you will see Samantha on this show again for that, actually.
Yeah,
I
great.
think we will be talking about that, because again, we need, for us to function properly, we need active participation from the community. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you
I
so much for
appreciate it.
having me.
Anytime. And
Very
again, we
excited.
will have you on soon. Folks, keep an eye out for future episodes, and thank you for joining us.